Hi there, my name's Epic Mike, and I'm with Character Cache, or the owner of Character Cache. We do characters like the ones you see on the screen here. And I am going to tell you why we've doubled the number of sizes that are in D&D. It's not that we really wanted to or felt like it was the best idea. It's that we just think it looks a way better if you actually are showing these things not from a top-down view. So if you wanted to ever play in an isometric view or with actual miniatures, the scales just are kind of wonky. And let me talk about that. Like, let's just take the hill giant, for example. Um, Here's a medium creature, and the hill giant's huge. So this is a huge creature and a medium creature. And that's the difference between the two of them. And for me, that's just a little bit, that's a big difference. It's a big difference. It's more than just like medium to huge. It's like medium to, I mean, that's almost gargantuan in my personal opinion. So what I've done is added an extra one in between large and huge called large plus, which is basically half a step in between the two. And so that's one of them. I've also added a huge plus, which is a step in between huge and gargantuan. And then I've also added in a couple more mediums, and that's just because it really should be called something different. But because even the medium to the large, look at the changes here. Like medium to large, that's your size difference from an actual scale standpoint. If you were to show these guys together with each other, and so while I do recognize that my perspective here is a little bit off in the sense that you're looking at the artwork essentially straight on, and the perspective's from a little bit up above. The reality is that it's still a significant size difference. The actual volume is still, it scales at a exponential rate essentially. And because of that, this large guy is 8 times the size, of the medium guy, and so on. Like the huge guy is, 8 times the size of the large guy. In the sense, you'd think that it should be just double, right? It's just double the size. But the thing is, you're doubling it in 2 different dimensions, technically 3, if you're including like z depth. And so that's why it ends up being 8 times. And that's why the spell enlargement and reduction adds 8 times your weight, or it reduces your weight by 8 times. Is because there's 3 dimensions that you're scaling in. So anyway, the point is that it just doesn't look right to me. Like a horse is a large creature. Is it seriously that freaking big, right? Like that seems a little bit big for a horse. So that's why it's like, if you want to be able to represent a lot of different types of creatures visually on screen, you need more than 5 sizes. And so, and the thing is like those sizes just they don't work very well, especially like longer creatures, like a horse is long and skinny. It's hard to put that on a large little base here, because it's long and skinny. If I was to put a horse on a base this big and then try and put this guy on top of it, I mean, I guess it could work, but anyway, it seems like he's getting a little small. So anyway, the idea is that we have a couple of steps in between these. You've got medium large, medium plus. So medium plus is a 25% increase. Medium plus plus is I call it medium large. I might do a medium plus plus, but this is a 50% increase over medium. And then large is an actual doubling of all the dimensions. I mean, it's crazy how fast that gets big, right? Like every large creature, every bear in the wilderness is that big. Anyway, so, and then in addition, the final size I added, where small normally is on the base of a medium-sized creature, I really felt like they just needed to be on their own little base size, because it just seemed weird to me to have a creature that small. Like here's a goblin that's small. He's actually a little big, and he's on a medium base. And it's like we should just put him on a base that looks good for him, right? Here's another one over here. So anyway, that's what we've done, and that's where we're going to be going with our characters. Is we'll be kind of interpreting all of the dungeons and all the monster manual sizes, and deciding sort of which ones we feel are better suited. The hill giant, for example, I feel like is probably more in the large plus size, but it obviously would depend on your hill giant, right? And so this is about 15 feet tall, whereas this one's about 18 feet tall, right? And so, that just seems about right. For me, if you look at it, this guy could easily crush the medium-sized creature, no problem. So, but that's my own personal preferences. I don't know what you think. I'd love to hear what you think about that. I do recognize this is a lot of sizes, and this is eventually going to be all just sort of automated. The idea of character cache is eventually all this stuff would be automated. You just click, and import hundreds or perhaps thousands of different characters, and then you get to just set up cool scenes with them, right? You just set up cool scenes and have fun. So that's the kind of idea behind character cache, and that's this video.